Ever told someone the truth and instantly regretted it? You weren't wrong for being honest. You were just unprepared for the explosion that came after. The argument, the defensiveness, I can't believe you said that. It's not that truth hurts. It's that most people don't know how to handle it. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. And sometimes we're just as guilty. Whether it's a heated workplace meeting, a political debate, or a sarcastic news personality pretending to just tell it like it is, truth has become a weapon. And that's where manipulation hides best, under the label of, I'm just being honest. But real communication isn't about dropping truth bombs. It's about speaking truth strategically with tone, timing, and intention. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know how to tell the truth without starting a fight, even when emotions are ready to detonate. Over the many decades of working with and closely observing people and teaching communication in the classroom, here's one thing I've learned. It's rarely the truth that causes conflict. It's the intonation behind it. You can say the same sentence, "We need to talk," in 10 different tones, and each one sends a completely different message. Firm, cold, caring, condescending, defensive. That's how intonation becomes emotional punctuation. It turns statements into sparks. And skilled communicators, especially politicians, pundits, and so-called truth tellers in the media, use this intentionally. They shape this through tone manipulation to provoke, divide, and control. They've learned that sarcasm disguised as honesty keeps audiences hooked, not enlightened. They use it to make their truth sound louder, smarter, or more righteous than everyone else's. So the real challenge isn't telling the truth. It's delivering it in a way people can hear. If you watch my last video, when someone lies to your face, you already know that tone can expose deception. This time, we're flipping it to use tone to deliver truth. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to speak the truth with confidence and calm. Use your tone and intonation to disarm tension instead of triggering it. Avoid the traps of sarcasm and manipulation that turn truth into conflict. And I'll give you a 3-step system that works in any setting, at work, at home, or even when you're debating someone who refuses to listen. Here's what most people don't realize. When someone hears a hard truth, their brain reacts before their logic does. It's instant. That emotional flash, scientific terms, it's called the amygdala hijack, or better yet known as the knee-jerk reaction. Tone, not words, is what triggers it. That's why sarcasm cuts so deep. It mixes truth with contempt. It says, I'm right and you're ridiculous. And when people feel disrespected, they stop hearing truth altogether. That's the same technique politicians use during debates. They'll layer their truth with smugness, irony, or forced laughter. That sarcastic edge gets applause, but kills dialogue. So if you want to speak truth that actually lands, you have to separate honesty from hostility. You can't sound like people who profit from conflict. You have to sound like the one person in the room who's actually in control. All right, here's the framework that works anywhere, from a tense meeting to a family argument. Step 1, prepare your intention. Before you open your mouth, ask yourself, am I trying to connect or correct? If your goal is connection, truth builds bridges. If it's correction, truth becomes confrontation. People can feel your motive before they hear your message. Step 2, calibrate your intonation. Your tone is the container your truth comes in. If it's calm, they can drink it. If it's sharp, they'll spit it back out. So lower your pitch slightly, slow your pace, and pause between points. A measured tone sounds confident, not controlling. Here's the secret. Sincere truth sounds slower. Manipulation always sounds rushed. Step 3, anchor empathy. Before you correct someone, validate them. Say, I can see why you'd feel that way, or that makes sense from your point of view. Then follow with your truth. Here's what I've noticed. That transition, empathy before truth, keeps their brain open. It's what separates mindful communication from emotional firefights. Let's bring it to life. Imagine your coworker misses a deadline and you say, "You're always late. You never get things done on time." What they hear is attack. Defensive walls go up. Argument starts. Now, watch what happens when you shift your tone and structure. Listen to how this version lands differently. "I've noticed a few deadlines have slipped lately. What's been making it harder to keep up?" Same truth, same facts, but this time, your intonation invites reflection instead of resistance. That's how truth becomes collaboration, not conflict. Let's expand that idea. Sarcasm might feel satisfying, but it's verbal self-sabotage. It's how truth turns toxic. When you say, "Nice job showing up on time for once," you might think you're being witty, but what they hear is humiliation. And humiliation kills connection faster than any lie ever could. If your goal is to get through to someone, not just to get it off your chest, drop the sarcasm. It's the language of emotional manipulation, not communication. True honesty requires emotional control, the same skill politicians pretend to have when they want your trust. But unlike them, you're not trying to control an audience. You're trying to connect with a person. And that means your words don't just need truth. They need tone. Here's the truth about truth. It doesn't need volume. It needs discipline. When you speak truth calmly, with empathy and control, you become the authority in any conversation. Not because you're louder, but because you're grounded. So, the next time you're about to tell it like it is, stop and think. Am I here to prove I'm right or to help us move forward? Because real truth doesn't start fights. It ends confusion. If you found this helpful, share it with someone who struggles to tell the truth without it turning into an argument. It might just give them the clarity they need. In the next episode of this Truth and Perception series, we'll explore the Rorschach effect, why everyone thinks they're right. It explains why people can see the same event, tell different stories, and still believe they're being honest, and how understanding that can completely change the way you handle disagreements. Until then, check out this video next about how to deal with narcissists. It's a part of my playlist on dealing with difficult people, where you'll learn practical ways to stay grounded and communicate with calm authority. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.